The final updates for Dying Light 2 in 2022 have finally debuted. We had Hunting Sergeant Ryan, an event intended to track down a new mutated demolisher that was once a peacekeeper. Then we also had Winter Tales, the event where you need to hunt down new infected, get Christmas sweets and presents in exchange for some great rewards. And oh my god, they were kind of disappointing.
Here we go again.
Let's begin with Hunting Sergeant Ryan. This one, kind of a controversial one because it left the community in complete shambles. Now, in order to play this event, there are so many steps involved for the average player. You need to unlock the central loop by a mission ticket from the Chapter 2 agent, go through the 5 to 10 minute long mission, if you're lucky, get to the end and hunt down Sergeant Ryan. A lot of steps involved, and the community needed to work together to complete this 500,000 times. And what do you get as a reward? An avocado charm. I did this a couple times, wanted to waterboard myself. They kind of just took an existing mission and added a peacekeeper theme to it. The event was not really that creative and it was very uninspiring for players. And a majority of the community felt this way. No one was really doing this event. The numbers spoke for themselves, which leads me to the controversial part, the numbers.
The numbers? What are they saying?
Members of the community noticed something quite fishy. Normally, there's a counter that actively updates every single minute to see community progression. Well, at one point during this event, it would skyrocket by exactly 100,000 at the same time 3 days in a row. The third time was over 300,000 deposited at once. And since no one was playing this event, player counts and just the sheer number of steps involved with this, seeing this counter over 600,000 is completely illegitimate, physically impossible, and thus a controversy was born. The community says Tech1 was boosting their numbers to keep their ego intact. Then after a couple days, Tech1 says it was a technical issue that caused an incorrect number, and then they just gave everyone that long-awaited juicy item, an avocado charm. If Tech1 were to be boosting their numbers, it would kill all credibility and look pathetic. Not to mention too, you need to be really disconnected from reality to boost your numbers in such a large amount to think no one is going to notice. And because of that, I don't think they did it. They have everything to lose and nothing to gain from this. Actually, that's a lie. We do get a avocado charm. But all in all, the Hunting Sergeant Ryan event, that's the only interesting thing that happened with it. This event was disappointing, to say the least. It was just repetitive grinding with ultimately no purpose. In any event where the selling point is a hunter token, just don't even hop on the game for it. It's not worth it. Honestly, I don't think this event needed to be in the game because a week after we got the holiday event. But now you're probably wondering, was the event good? I'll tell you about it after we get a quick message from our sponsor. Hey there, I gotta tell you something. This video is sponsored by Drank and Sang Online. It's an awesome free-to-play MMO available on Steam with 10 plus years of development and an active community of millions of players. Drank and Sang offers up hundreds of different quests, a massive amount of content for you to enjoy. They have thousands of weapons and items you could use to build your character, and you have the option to play as one of 4 unique classes to uncover the mysteries of Draconia. You can do it with friends or alone. You can also hop into PvP arenas or play co-op to fight bosses and complete challenges. Their newest update, Realm of the Fire Lord, added tons of new content for you and your friends to enjoy. They added in new quests, monsters, skills, and so much more. By using my link down below, you can go ahead, download Drank and Sang, see what it has to offer, and uncover all of the mysteries waiting for you. Thank you so much to Drank and Sang for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to it now. We got Winter Tales, cue the holiday music. It's feeling pretty festive in here, huh? Look at this guy right here. Look at how jolly he is. Look at that nose. I just want to squeeze it. Now, let me tell you a story. I was so excited to load up into this event. I was genuinely excited to hop on, play the new Christmas update, and see what's in store for us. And this right here was my first time loading into the game. Someone join. Let's take a... What if I put the bow? We're not off to a good start, really. 10 months, almost 11 months later, we're still running into silly issues like this, and honestly, it's just exhausting at this point. The current state of Dying Light 2 feels like we're in an operation room. Dying Light 2's on the table and they're just putting on band-aids, hoping that it's okay, hoping that it's enough. When in reality, he probably needs some new legs, a new heart maybe. There's some blood gushing out over there that they should probably address pretty soon. But remember, we only have band-aids, so we're gonna patch that up for maybe like 4 more years and then call it a day. Dying Light 2 is just a game of Russian roulette at this point, whether it's working properly or just completely ceases functionality. I ended up lucking out, but other players are stuck in progression halt loops with no way to proceed forward, which is upsetting. Everyone now has time off to go ahead and play their new and favorite games, and they simply can't. But I pushed forward, made myself out of that metro station, and saw that there's no snow anywhere. So I googled it, realized that it's intended, and I did what any sane person would do. Headed over to the mod website, downloaded the mod, added in the snow myself, and it made it 1,000 times better. Now we're really in the holiday spirit. You hear that music? Santa's coming, alright? I guess this one is kind of on me for overhyping the Christmas event. I did believe snow was coming because it was data mined in the files that a snow version of this map actually exists, and that's what this mod is. Making your map into snow just makes sense. Your infected are being turned into elves and Christmas creatures, but it looks kind of goofy when there's no snow. But it is on me. I do think a snow map would have been a great addition into Dying Light 2, especially for this chapter to go ahead and separate it from other updates out there, but it didn't happen. So for the entirety of the rest of this video, whatever you're seeing with snow is not an accurate representation. It's just a glimpse of what could have been. Also, side note before we do dive deeper, there's probably so many people getting this game for the first time in the holiday season as a gift, and they're going to be seeing zombies like this, with no option to turn it off. Techland, I do think players should have that option. It could be immersion breaking to be seeing this in an intense cutscene. Techland does do this for other events, just not the big seasonal ones. So, this event, Winter Tales, what's in store for us? Honestly, there isn't really much going on for it. It's very similar to the Halloween event, which I think was a bit better. The Christmas update added Christmas-themed biters, bolters, and a demolisher that throws snowballs at you, which is awesome. I actually love that shit. The biters, there's only a variety of 2, so you will be seeing repeats. There's no doubt about that one. The bolters, which are actually the community challenge for this event, they look phenomenal. Unfortunately for me, I didn't run into any. I played this event for nearly 4 to 5 hours and I didn't see a single one. Maybe my game is bugged out, but nothing. And yes, I verified my game files, turned off that snow map mod to see if this was leading to any conflicts, and still saw no bolters after playing for another 2 hours. The community global reward is to hit 6 million presents collected from the bolter, and then we'll go ahead and get this brand new mace weapon if we complete it. And this goal, it may be doable. It's a really high number for enemies that you may run into, enemies that are so difficult to find even when you spend hours looking for them. And if you've been paying close attention to previous community events, it's kind of a reoccurring pattern that Techland can't accurately estimate the community goals. We either blast past it in the first few days or just get nowhere near it, which if we look back at Hunting Sergeant Ryan, that's exactly what happened until fishy numbers came into play. The Winter Tales goal could very well happen. We'll just have to wait and see, but that still does not disregard the issues of what occurs with these events. But with this event, Baka makes a return. He's playing OG Dying Light music with a Christmas theme attached to it. He's got a new shop, new bounties, new rewards, new masks, and of course, a brand new outfit. The outfit, awesome. I'm rocking that shit right now. Except with this event, Techland kind of did something weird with it. You could go and just buy the $3 outfit bundle. So what occurred is many players on the morning of release saw this pop into the store and they purchased it, and then they loaded up into the game only to see what they just purchased you could earn in game after playing for like an hour or 2. It was just an overall weird decision that hopefully doesn't happen again. And lastly, one final thing that I didn't really like with this event was the bounties. I played it for a couple days and I got the exact same bounties 3 days in a row. The first day I did get one different one, but other than that, the other 2 days, same exact shit. And half the bounties every time are these co-op bounties to entice you to play with your friends or randoms, and randoms want nothing to do with that shit and they'll just kick you on the spot upon joining. I think what I found really disappointing with this event is that it's just more of the same. There isn't much variety when it comes to the content being added into Dying Light 2 anymore, with the exclusion of bloody ties. We have these major content drops, chapter 1 and chapter 2, which are completing bounties and missions for rewards with an agent. You continue to rank up and gain more rewards. And the Halloween and Christmas updates are kind of just like mini versions of chapters, and I can't help but feel like it's a repetitive grind, and for me that's just simply not my type of game anymore, especially because I feel like the game that Tech One has built just isn't made for it. It feels like they're trying to make this game more like an RPG than they ever intended, and if they want to keep doing this, which it looks like they do, they need to really overhaul certain systems for it to function properly. The updates give you more and more loot, but you have no place to put this loot, so a stash increase needs to happen. So many outfits and masks are coming in, but there's no transmog system to fully utilize it. And then all the gear and loot you actually get are just useless. Each piece of armor and gear has stats tied to it, yet they're pathetic because they're so low level. Like when you go and get a jacket off of the street that you found in a trash can, and that's a higher tier item than whatever you just grinded 2 hours for, that's an issue. But it's a problem that Tech One just isn't really addressing. Tech One's in that operation room desperately putting band-aids when they need to go back and fix the core issues first. They're trying to polish what they currently have with cosmetics and new rewards, but it's just not compelling. An avocado charm is not enough of a reason for me to hop onto Dying Light 2 anymore. Like, why use resources for hunting Sergeant Ryan when there's a huge list of things that need to be done that would overall push the game into a much better position long term than a week of avocado charm? Ragdolls and physics, parkour momentum are two of the most talked about features in the community that need to be changed, but fuck that. Avocado charm. But those are just my thoughts. I'd be happy to hear yours. I have the flu. It's 1 degree outside. It's also Christmas morning. I love you all. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. See you later. Bye bye.